The sun rose over the quiet hills of Ridgewood Valley, washing the landscape in golden light. At the far edge of the community, where the paved streets turned to gravel and the HOA's reach began to fade, stood a man named Samuel Holt, a carpenter, a craftsman, and a man of simple pride. His hands had built homes, fences, and bridges for nearly every neighbor in the area. But now, after years of serving others, he finally wanted to build something for himself, a barn. Not just any barn, but a grand one, a place where his tools, his projects, and his legacy could live. The land he owned stretched for 5 acres, marked by an old oak tree and bordered by fields of whispering grass. He'd purchased it long before the HOA expanded their boundaries. To him it was more than property, it was history, peace, and independence. He designed the barn himself, tall wooden beams, stone foundations, and a handcrafted weather vane on top. Every plank carried a story, every nail a mark of his patience. When it stood completed, it wasn't just a structure. It was a symbol of his life's work, solid, honest, unshakable. But beauty in the eyes of the HOA wasn't defined by craftsmanship. It was defined by uniformity, rules, regulations, and arbitrary standards dressed as community improvement. From the moment the barn stood finished, the board's attention sharpened. The president of the HOA, Leonard Price, was a man obsessed with control. He viewed Samuel's barn not as a work of art but as defiance. It stood taller than any home in the subdivision, and to Leonard that was an eyesore. The first letter came 2 weeks later, neatly folded, printed in corporate fonts, and delivered by hand. It accused Samuel of violating height restrictions and constructing without proper aesthetic approval. The tone was polite, but the message was clear: tear it down or face consequences. Samuel read it under the fatting porch light that evening, the smell of sawdust still clinging to his hands. He said nothing to anyone. The next morning he simply went back to work, sanding a beam, adjusting the hinges, perfecting his creation. Weeks passed, more letters followed, each one colder, more demanding. Neighbors